Welcome into today's Patriots Training Camp Recap, brought to you by Starland Sportsplex and Fun Park in Hanover. Alex Barth, Scott Zolak with you after the Patriots wrapped up their 13th training camp practice of the summer. Zoe, a little bit of a step back today in terms of they weren't in full pads. Yeah. The tempo was down a little bit. Felt like a ramp-up day for the joint practices. We'll see tomorrow, which we'll get to. But as for today, because it was still 90 minutes of football, it was a shorter practice too. I think the step back helped Drake Maye out. He looked better today. He looked more decisive today. I think he threw with great anticipation. That was my biggest takeaway from him. Now, it's just one day. It's one non-padded day. He's got to carry this over into tomorrow and moving forward, but one of his better days of the summer.
He's got to build days. He's got to have a good day tomorrow, like you said, and he's got to give them reason to want to play him extensively. And I say extensively, more than a quarter on Thursday night. I was surprised he didn't play that much. We were expecting him to play and maybe even make the turn. It was Zappy that got the 7 series. But I'm with you. I mean, he looks good out there. I mean, it's functional. And I think that's what we have to take it by because it's what we're seeing. Thank God this was not just one of those special teams practices where you saw no offense. But it seems like he and Jacoby are splitting reps.
So let me ask you this. And it's tough because under Bill, we had a whole history to go over. Now we don't. But under Bill, he would talk about dividing up the reps between a joint practice and the game as if it was one entity. So how much should Drake Maye practice tomorrow? How much should he play in the game? And I know fans want to see him play in the game, but if you're the coaching staff, which reps are more valuable? Where would you rather see him get more opportunities, the joint practice or the game?
Well, the joint, you can control it more because you can control him not getting hit. I'd put more stock into actual game footage, under duress, having people at your feet. Like Joe Burrow even talked about it over the weekend. I want to get hit. I want to get hit before that first game. You got to get in there. You got to feel it. You just can't keep the guy in bubble wrap, so to speak. And I think that's kind of what we're doing. I thought they missed a massive opportunity to get a good quarter and a half on film on him. Yeah. To study it over the weekend to say, hey, Drake, we're going to sit you down. This is what we think you did well. This is what we think you didn't do so well. We need to clean this up. This one we're going to extend.
Yeah.
That's a massive opportunity they missed, and they will not miss that this week against the Eagles. I think he's going to play long.
So would it be fair to say the joint practices are better for development, the game is better for evaluation?
I think that's fair.
So what should they, as the coaching staff, care about more with him right now?
I wouldn't do the thing Bill did, but if Bill high repped you in the individual in the joint, he would pull back during the game. I'd push him through joints and I'd push him through the game.
So you just want to see a ton of Drake Maye?
Yeah, I just want to see a lot of Maye. I think you know what you got with Brissett. I don't know how much more you're cleaning things up with Brissett. You got 2 weeks to do that to get him ready for week one. Brissett's fine. He's your starter. Let's just all agree on that. Let's roll with it. Maye, you got to push him to get ready to go because after tomorrow, we're not going to see him anymore. And after the game, we're not going to see him anymore. I don't know how much he's going to play in week 3. I don't know if he'll play at all. That might just be all Zappy and Milton game 3.
Do you think that him essentially not playing or only playing the one series in that first preseason game, do you think that had any edge? You think that impacted him mentally, his approach?
I don't think so because I think he was told what he was going to do. And he didn't seem like that ticked off about it on the sideline. I thought he was nervous prior to the game. I'm there early. I'm watching his warm-ups. He's staring at the ground. He's a little fidgety. Now I got to get to know him a little bit better, his mannerisms. I'm reading a lot of body language. But even in the huddle during TV timeouts, he's kind of counting himself, going over the plate. He's 21. He's nervous. This is different now. You're not coming here to take a picture with the owners. You're coming in front of your own fans now. It's a real NFL game against a team you grew up going to games for, and that's Carolina Panthers. So, yeah, I think they just had to get him through that first game, and I think now you start immersing him in it.
All right, back to today's practice. Another thing that stood out, a number of penalties or other organizational issues or multiple false starts on the offense. Defense jumped, had to run a lap. There was another time where they only had 10 guys on the field defensively. Mayo stepped in, sent them down the other way to run a lap. This is the kind of stuff this is when you got to start ironing this out.
He stopped practice over the weekend too, right?
That's right. Yeah, there was one yesterday too. Yeah. So
what was that over?
I think that was a false start too. I believe. I'm pretty sure it was either a false start or an alignment thing. But this team doesn't have the margin to not have the procedural things down.
I think the biggest thing you saw from even going back to last week's game.
Yeah.
If you missed on first down on a throw and you threw on second, 3rd and 10. 3rd and 12 is not going to benefit this football team. When they came out, were able to run the ball and get 5-6 yards on a clip, 2nd and 4, that's when they moved the sticks. They moved it with Jacoby. They moved it with Drake. They moved it with Zappy through that point. Same thing with Milton. This team doesn't have the luxury to be sloppy. And it's an indicator when the Zebras are out here. Hey, we're out here. They're out here for a reason, guys.
Right.
Clean it up. And they did not clean it up today. Something to be concerned about, but they still have time to clean things up.
And I think the veterans know it. There was one interesting moment today during the red zone where it was, I forget if it was Joe Milton or Drake May, threw a fade past the back corner of the end zone. Javon Baker, Mikey Victor broke it up. And he breaks the pass up and he kind of stands there and he's like celebrating, but the ball's still in the air. And had he tracked the ball, he would have picked it. And Jabril Peppers came right over and kind of told him, you've got to to the whistle, complete the catch. And there's been other moments like that. I think that's the kind of thing that you're going to see more of an attention paid to here over these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think they're getting good leadership especially from the secondary, from guys like Duggar, from Peppers. Watching Godzo a little bit out here today. He seems like he's moving better. The coverage I thought was better today.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of holes to throw the ball into. You're kind of getting to the point of camp where route recognition is there. You know your own team. You know your calls. You know which different combinations are out there. What guys are going to run. What routes are going to run. You're going to be able to sit on them a little bit more.
Again, this Patriots Training Camp Recap is brought to you by Starland Sportsplex and Fun Park in Hanover. Zoe, as we look ahead to tomorrow, the joint practice, this is a very valuable day. This is up there with the preseason games in terms of in both development and evaluation. There's a lot more weight. Not every practice is created equal, right? There's a lot more weight on this practice tomorrow than there was today, than there was yesterday, the day before. Guys who are jockeying for roster spots, for depth chart spots. Tomorrow is the day to do it. What's just the approach? Jacoby Brissett said after practice, he's going to step on the field tomorrow. It's going to feel like game day.
Yeah.
What's the mindset you want to be in heading into a joint practice?
Well, I think you don't want your defense to get exposed tomorrow or in this game on Thursday night, because then that gets everybody thinking, well, maybe they're not going to be that good on defense. If Jalen Hurts and company come in here and light you up offensively, if they look really good in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11 and team blitz, I think that's where the worry starts to kick in for this football team, because there's like more stuff that's being written. I don't know if you saw the ESPN stuff. Maybe they could win 9 games. Somebody else had them at 6.5. Those are high numbers for the schedule and for the type of the way the team looks right now. If you have any issues during the joints or Thursday night's game with your defense not looking great, that could create problems from the mindset of fans, from the mindset of writers like you and people that cover the team.
So hearing that, my mind
be sharp on D, get after him.
My mind instantly goes to Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
Because he's the guy that's kind of been in the spotlight this summer. Is he going to take that next step? Is he not? Obviously, the Eagles have a couple of great wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. He seems like a guy you're going to watch tomorrow. Another guy, and I want to bring it back to something today I meant to mention, when they ran that with one of the first laps today for the defense, Matthew Judon out in front, sprinting on the lap, leading the defense, which, given his situation, we still try to read into every little thing.
Got to read into everything. And he's out here late signing with the kids. He's doing everything the right way.
So he's another guy after not playing in the game last week, I think you look at and say, all right, is he as locked in as maybe it looks in practice? Because they're going to need him locked in to be that kind, like truly locked in to be that kind of defense.
It's something to watch. It really is. And we'll be judging it. We'll be watching it. I know, Gerard's openly talked about it and said, we're in a good spot. We're fine. We're past it. But I still think he needs to be taken care of somewhat.
One more thing before we wrap it up here, Zoe. Today kind of, I think, to me, painted, this has been a kind of a brutal camp physically. I mean, it's been long physical practices. They've been, on a pretty regular schedule. They're, like you said before, we used to have those, like, they'd mix in those special teams days, and the days that were just walkthroughs.
Yeah. This is one where it would take me back to the player. And if this was something consistent when we had bad, real true two-a-days, you'd sit there and you'd stare at that clock and like, oh my God, we're only in period 6, and I know we got 17 periods in this practice. You start clock watching. And I think that's something to watch too. If are guys running drill to drill? Is there still pep in the step? You gotta keep it upbeat. I know the music's playing, trying to make it a more relaxed environment. But bottom line, these are long practices. I do give them credit for pushing through this.
Do you like the practice schedule, the way they've scripted things for the whole summer?
Absolutely love it. I love having it laid out for you. I love the fact that you don't have to get up and grind and meet a little bit more before you get out there and play. Then you can meet again, because you're doing a lot of young kids. You're doing 90 players instead of 53, so you're juggling twice as many players.
All right, we'll see. The open portion wraps up tomorrow. There'll still be practices open to the media.
9:30 tomorrow. Don't forget.
Tomorrow, 9:30 or 10:30?
9:30.
9:30?
We've been pumping it all day. 9:30.
9:30. All right. 9:30 practice tomorrow. Yep. Patriots, Eagles here at Gillette Stadium. We'll have another recap after that one. Until then, check out 985thesportshub.com for more Patriots training camp content. This Patriots training camp recap has been brought to you by Starland Sportsplex and Fun Park in Hanover. For Scott Zolak, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
See you guys.